Greetings! If you're new to performing with Ableton Live, you might have wondered what the difference is between Ableton Session View and Arrangement View modes, and you might be wondering which one of these is going to work best for me or my type of music and the kind of approach to the live set that I want to take. Each mode might kind of work better or worse for certain types of musicians, for example producers versus live bands, and I just kind of want to touch on the brief ways that I kind of use it. So I'm here in Ableton, and this is the default view mode, the grid, the session view that everyone's probably used to seeing. And just to kind of explain essentially how this screen works, everything in here is stuff that I've made myself. So you've got a column of drum loops, you've got a column of perks, all the bass parts are here, all the melodics are here, and something else I should maybe mention is that every single loop in this pack is in the key of C sharp minor, and they're all at 143 BPM. So in the case of this project, I can pretty much mix and match anything from any of these loops, and they can all kind of fit together. But if I just start playing that now, so I've got some drums playing, and I can control all the volume of it like that, all the panning, that's all pretty basic stuff. Let's put some different effects on the drums. So, you can do... You can assign all of these controls to something like a MIDI controller, for example, like a Korg Nano control, so you can actually control this stuff, by hand. Just go through and activate some of these other clips. If I had an Ableton Launchpad, I could obviously just use that to trigger all of these clips as and when I want to bring things in and out. On the right hand side of the screen, you've got this section where you've got scenes, and you can basically set this up to play different songs. And in the case of this project, I just have a scene for each one of these grooves. And then if I press this play button, you'll see how it triggers the entire row. So that's kind of like just starting the whole song off, right? And you can see there that basically as I click on a scene, if I trigger that before the start of the next bar, because of Ableton's global quantization, you can hear that everything transitions perfectly along with the click track, so everything stays nice and in time. And, it's a really nice way to just keep everything like a constant stream of sound. And, once you start the first scene of your set, you can pretty much continue on seamlessly without ever having to stop. You can set up individual time signature and BPM information for each scene. So, if these are at different tempos, and if I just... Pretty fun and simple way to approach performing live with Ableton, I think, and especially if you're kind of like an electronic music producer or a DJ, because you can just let things loop indefinitely, and then it's up to you when you want to decide to take things on to the next section or kind of moving things in and out. You can bring a sense of kind of like improvisation to performing the set, because it's mixing and matching these different elements is going to create kind of something different every time. And obviously if I was blending this all in with effects and stuff, then yeah, you can get into quite an involved, fun way of kind of performing tunes. So I think, yeah, session view mode obviously works best for this kind of approach and is kind of, built for that. But the trouble is, what if you want to play music that has a mid-song, maybe your songs have got multiple BPM or tempo and time signature changes, like midway through the song. So a workaround for that, you could have a scene for each section of a song. So you could say that this is, song 1, section A, and then you could say, the first part of this song is in 180 BPM at 4/4, but then at a certain point, you want it to shift to a different tempo and time signature. We can put in different time signature and BPM information for that one. That would kind of be a way of getting around that, but this isn't ideal. Let's say you're playing guitar with two hands and this setup relies on you having to physically get your hand away from the guitar to press a button to do the scene launch, to go to the next section. That can come with a margin of error, and that can go wrong, basically. Session View mode isn't ideal if you're planning to play as a band to things like backing tracks and click tracks. I just think there's a bit of an easier way to do it using the arrangement view. So I've just loaded up a different session, and this has got just 2 tracks in it, and these are 2 of my currently sort of like work in progress, unfinished tracks that I'm planning to release pretty soon under my alias Luo. But just to kind of show the difference, right? So these are kind of, these are full songs that have specific structures. And the trouble with trying to play this sort of music with the scenes mode is, I'll just show you, right? So let's say I want to start playing, I'm not the most imaginative when it comes to sort of like placeholder work in progress names for my tracks. So here's Acoustic Darkness, so named because it is a dark acoustic guitar riff. So the song can just play through that way, and you know, typically live I would play this with my drummer and I'd be playing guitar and he'd be playing drums, so we can just mute these channels and then the rest of it can stay there, and then we've got the click track in our ears, we can play to that, you know, as a backing track, and we'll play the instrumental parts live. Sweet, seems to work, right? The trouble is, as you might have noticed, I haven't really got any way to skip into a specific point in the song. You know, say if drummer Matey Boy is like, can we just run the chorus section on a loop? There's no way to do that in this session view mode. You know, every single time I play the track, you've got to play it from the start and play the entire song all the way through every time. For example, you know, if I try and click into this drums track, or if I skip forward, messes it up because it's just playing at a later point in the drums file without actually shifting everything over. And that's kind of like a small thing, but that does get kind of tedious if you've got this set up that way. And then of course, if I wanted to swap between sections, then I've got to have a scene, 4 time signature changes in it and 4 BPM changes. And then by the end of this, you're just going to have a really, really long, kind of overwhelming to look at spreadsheet. A better way to do this is to click and drag all the stems in this row here to this little icon here with the 3 lines. You can see that I can just drag this in to arrangement view. So I've got my 2 songs in my set here, and you can see that my BPM and my time signature information are automated, and these will automatically change. So if I trigger song 2 here, you can see that my BPM and stuff just changed so that it all follows what it's meant to be doing, right, for each song. And now obviously if Matey Boy drummer is like, oh Josh, could we just loop the chorus up for a little bit, I can just hit that point in the song, go bang, and then we can play from there, you know, and I can just skip around to any point in the song. And then in regards to the issue of a mid-song BPM change, I've got this other track here, which is tentatively called Night Terrors at the moment. Let's just skip into a bit of that. So this song for the most part is at 123 beats per minute. And you can see that I've automated that in using the song tempo automation on the master track down here. So you have to enable the automation mode with the A key to bring that up. And then, yeah, you can access the song tempo here. So just where my locator is, that's where I've specified the BPM change. A certain groove in a track might just feel slightly better when it's just nudged up a few BPM. It's not even like a massive shift, but sometimes that does happen, right? So that's what's going on here. And you'll see that that happens where I've got this BPM change. So we go from 123 BPM up to 127 here. And it's just very easy to do that in the arrangement view by just mapping in that tempo change. But anyway, that is pretty much the basic difference between these 2 modes. I hope that's been helpful to anyone watching, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. But yeah, take it easy.